You got a minute? Oh, wow. Hello, feral friends. It's your host, Savannah, in the house. We're fucking back, baby. I miss you guys. I have not recorded an episode, a solo episode, in like 4 weeks, I think. It's weird, but the reason why is because we moved. So I had to move all the offices, including the podcast studio, into a new space. And we're going to get into that in a minute, but I'm just really excited to be back. I feel like I was a fish out of water. Now I'm like a brand new fresh spring chicken and my new stewed, and I get to come hang out with you guys. I've missed you a lot. I already love the new space so much. I feel amazing right now, which is saying a lot because I think I'm literally starting my period right now while being on the show with you, because I just my femalehood is not feeling super dope right now, but that's okay. Sorry if you didn't care to hear that. I'm not gonna edit that out. So excuse me in advance if I put my sweatshirt on and take it off and put it on and take it off 1,000 times during this episode, because sometimes I get really hot like I am right now, and then other times I get really cold. So bear with me. Outside of that, I have a lot to catch you guys up on. The last time I saw you, I think, was right before I went to Montana for the engagement celebration to introduce the future in-laws. So we've got some things to talk about. I also did an Ask Me Anything that I have some questions to answer for you guys. So I'm excited to dive into that. We're going to talk about the renovation on the new office, which was highly unexpected, and the new design, the new renovations, all the chaos behind what I've been going through for the last 4 weeks since I hosted a solo episode. So let's dive on in. All right, so let me just kick off where we left off. I will start with the engagement party. Amazing, super fun. Side note, not to shit on our brothers, but neither one of them showed up last minute, which is fine. We still love them. Everything went fabulous. But outside of that, the families got to meet for the first time. So bringing the Cuban future in-laws and the Montanan future in-laws together was a vibe. They actually really enjoyed it. I think Will had more fun than anybody. It was a blast. I mean, I'll give you guys a little bit of my background in case you don't know, but my family owns a ranch in Montana, which is where I grew up. And there's just a lot of cool shit to do there. Riding horses, shooting guns, four-wheelers, fishing, lounging around. Like, there's no cell phone reception. Like, you couldn't get a hold of me if I was at the ranch if your life depended on it. It would physically be impossible, which I love. I didn't love it when I was younger because, we want to be connected with each other all the time. Now I love it. Now I'm like, please, I need to take a trip home so that I can completely disconnect. I don't want to hear from anybody. As much as I love all of you beautiful people, sometimes I just want to shut my fucking phone off. So that might have been one of my top favorite parts, is being with my family and the closest people to me that I love the most, and being completely disconnected from the rest of the world. There's nothing better than that. If it's something that you haven't experienced in your life, highly recommend. You can come to my family's ranch if you want to. It is a dude ranch, so they do private ranch vacations and hunting camps and cattle drives and all the fun things. But you can do it anywhere. This is not a promo for my family's ranch. I'm just throwing it out there for you. So yeah, I think everything went well. Mima, Will's grandmother, she actually said a speech in Spanish, which obviously most people couldn't understand her because I don't think anyone in my family is bilingual, but Will directly translated it. So it was like the cutest thing I think I've ever seen. It was so sweet. She was so brave. I could barely get up and stand in front of my family and give a speech, which, by the way, let's actually talk about that. So embarrassing. My grandma calls me out in front of everyone. And she's like, well, why aren't you going to welcome all your guests? And I'm like, yeah. I wasn't planning on doing that right now, but here we go. So my mom, Will, and I all just impromptu, and my grandfather just throw some shit together. Like none of us had anything planned or written and beautiful to say. It was kind of the 7-minute plan. The whole engagement party ended up being a 7-minute plan because it was planned like 3 weeks in advance. It was supposed to be canceled, but not for anything bad, just could not find the vendors that I needed. So we threw it together. I don't even know what I said. I think I blacked out in that moment. Will had some really nice things to say. My mom's speech was the cutest. She did really well. She actually went before me. Like, shout out to my mom. What a badass you are. She was so cute. I think we were all so emotional. I'm surprised I didn't cry. And then I asked my grandfather to walk me down the aisle, which was a big moment and super exciting and fun. So yeah, I think overall it was a really good time. They got to kind of see where I'm from, what we do, how we hang out, the vibe of my family. It's crazy that Will and I have been together for almost 4 years now, and our families had never met before. And obviously he had to ask my grandfather if he could marry me. So he got the green light. Here we go. But the fact that they hadn't met, and I don't know, it's just kind of weird. It's kind of crazy, but it went really, really well. From people being so different, they got along swimmingly. And I mean, my family is badass. They're all so fucking cool. Shout out to my aunts, by the way. So everyone was giving me a hard time for being, not everyone, but like the closest people to me were giving me a hard time for being like this and this and this, and people need to show up here and this and that needs to be done and this needs to be ready and yada, yada, yada. And they were busting my chops. And then it was time for all of these things to happen. And people just keep coming up to me, well, what do you want for this? And what do you want for that? And what about this? And I was like, no. I got all my shit together, okay? I had everything planned. I told you guys in advance and you guys busted my balls for being too fucking organized. And so then I turned my organized brain off and I was living on the 7-minute plan. So they're like, oh, well, what about this? And what about food? And what about cake? And what about an announcement? And I was like, I don't know. See, I had all of this planned and these conversations happening. And then you guys said what you had to say. Now I'm on the 7-minute plan and I have no idea what's going on. So we're just rolling with the punches. And that's basically how the remainder of that event went. It was actually it went well. I'm being an asshole, but it went super fine. There was no hiccups. My dad didn't show up. I understand why he didn't. It wasn't like a good thing or a bad thing. It was just a thing. But for the most part, it was good. It was super last minute. It was super small and intimate. Some people that didn't RSVP showed up. Some people that RSVP didn't show up. It was just, a standard Montana celebration. But I really enjoyed it. It was fun getting to introduce everyone. I think for what it was and how last minute it all went down, I think it was fab. So 0 complaints. I'd love to see what everybody else has to say about it. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, and my mom, shout out to her again. She found a Cuban food truck. So when we started planning in February, I want to say, she found a Cuban food truck because I was like, I don't want to bring in a caterer and do all that. I would rather have somebody come in, come out, and call it a day. And everyone was super pleased with the food. So for those of you who don't know, my fiance and his family are from Cuba. I mean, Will was born in America, but his family was raised in Cuba. And being able to find a Cuban food truck in the state of Montana is wild. So that worked out really well. And most people in my family and my friends from Montana who were with me that night, they had never even had Cuban food before. So solid win, super fun. Loved that. All in all, great event. So I'm sure there's a lot more that I could say on the topic that I'm not thinking of right now, but I think it was a 10 out of 10 for throwing shit together with the 7-minute plan. For those of you who don't know what the 7-minute plan is, it's basically how my grandfather raised me and all of his children. You just figure it out. You got 7 minutes to figure out. If you can't, you just go. And that's how we roll. Moving on, next topic. Before we move on, I actually have to share a secret that my mom's going to be upset about. Oh, excuse me, I'm burping now. No, I'm just kidding. She's not going to be upset at all. But she did get super emotional, which shocked the shit out of me. So before the party started, we were getting ready, right? I'm getting ready in my cabin. My mom's up in her cabin doing the thing. I don't know what I stopped in there for. I think I just hadn't seen her for a while, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go check on my mom. And I go into her cabin, and she's like blasting music. She's in her bathroom getting ready, and she's like not vibing. You know what I mean? Like when you can tell that your mom's a vibe and when she's not a vibe. And I was like, what's going on with her? So I stop her and I'm like, Mom, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? And she just starts shedding little tears. And she's so sad and like happy sad. And I think something has happened. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Why are you upset? Is everything okay? Did something happen? Talk to me, goose. You know, what's up? And she was just super emotional about the whole event. And I know my mom super well, and we're both Aries. So I know exactly what makes her tick, how she goes off, this, that, the next thing. And she's just overwhelmed. She was like, holy shit, like this is real. Like you're introducing them to our family and our family's meeting them for the first time. And it's just this whole big stirred pot of emotion. And she wasn't expecting it at all. And she had called my Aunt Molly and was like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I can't stop crying, this and that, da-da-da-da. This was like hours before she had told me. And Molly said the same thing. She's like, oh yeah, when I gave Ruby away, I don't know what came over me, but I was just emotional. And so we had just like this brief breakdown conversation where I was like, Mom, you're giving me away, sure, in the context, but you're not in the context. I can't talk today. Please ignore me. In the context, you're giving me away, right? But you're not. Like, I'm not going anywhere. You're still a part of my life. Like, we're ride or dies. We're homies. So it was this cute, really unexpected conversation that I had with my mom about her feelings and her views, and I wasn't expecting it at all. And I actually had to have this conversation with one of my friends who I think, if she's not already engaged, she'll be getting engaged very soon. And I'm getting sugar bumps, sorry. It's just something that you wouldn't know. As a bride and other women who have been engaged or been married, you think that your mom's like, I've been through this, like, I know what's up. You know what I'm saying? But no one ever told me that there was this moment of mother-daughter giveaway. Like, usually you see a dad cry or shed a tear, you know? But so that was kind of surprising to me in a really, really positive way. To fast forward through, so I don't take up too much of your time here, the end of the conversation, my mom and I have some like hit songs that we like to dance to and sing to and vibe out on. And that's exactly what we did. So she turned her music back on and we blasted our favorite songs and we danced and we sang to each other in her cabin to like get the spirits up before the event started. So we went from like crying and sobbing, like ugly crying with each other, like, I love you so much, to dancing and singing to Build Me a Buttercup with hairbrushes in our hand. Legit, like, fucking fabulous. Amazing. A memory I will never forget. So just a fun little story to throw at you guys. Some things are unexpected, but the unexpected things are usually the best memories to keep. All right, so let's jump into the renovation project. Totally unexpected. Will picked it out, so super groovy, no complaints, high vaulted ceilings, chef's kiss, loved that. It's an atrium, so when you walk into our new office, it's like ponds and trees and benches and a walkway. It's like super vibey. It's super, why do I keep using that word today? What is that about? Sorry. It's, I don't know another word. It's very tranquil. It's a good setting to walk into when you're walking into a new office. So fresh energy, nice and crispy. love that. Also, side note, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I do this with every single house, every apartment, every office, every suite, every studio, every anything that we've ever moved into. We have Will's grandmother come and sage the place. So she walks around with like basil leaves and sage and rosemary. I don't know, like lights shit on fire. But she says this prayer that she memorized when she was a little girl in Spanish. And to me, it sounds like... That's what it sounds like. I hope that you can hear that on the camera or on the mic, because I have no idea what she's saying, but she's like whispering it to like the positive spirit gods of the world. I don't know. And she comes in and she sages the whole place so that it's a vibe. So like all the bad energy goes out, and then we have to open up the windows and doors after she's finished and let all the bad energy go out. So super vibing on the new spot. Everybody's loving it. Outside of that, we come in. Here comes story time. Will wants to renovate the whole fucking place. So I was like, all right, let's do it. I love a reno project, but I also I wanted to get in the new studio. You know what I'm saying? So first let's paint. Okay, cool. Paint. That's easy, fast, done, whatever. Well, then he wants to knock down a wall. So then we knock down the wall. Well, then now he wants to change the doors, which we haven't even done yet. His mom gifted floors, so we put new flooring in. Then we paint the sideboards. Then we put new framing. It was just one thing after the next. Mind you, and not in a negative way, in an actually very positive way, I love design and I love decor and I love doing this kind of shit. So obviously, I'm the go-to decorator when it comes to these things. So have to redo Will's office. His mom's office is completely finished. Hers was the easiest because it was a very similar setup to the old office that I had designed for her. Mike's is a work in progress because he's changing his mind on some things. Who else? Did a co-working space for his team, also did a conference room for him, reception area, put up a green wall, painted the walls, ripped out the floors, had the windows cleaned, redesigned the new studio. It's very similar to what we had before. It's just a different space, and I changed some things that I didn't love about the other one. So I was super happy I had the freedom to do that. My bank account's not, but that's a story for another time. What else? So basically, it was just one thing after the next, after the other. You think that you're going to fix one small thing, and then when you fix that thing, you go, oh, well, I have to upgrade that too. Like, is something as silly as outlets, like plugs, took all those out. Light switches, you paint the walls. Well, then you don't realize, oh, the walls and the light switches are old. So when you update the paint, then you realize that those aren't white anymore. Those are off-white because people's grubby mitts have been all over them, and now they're more yellow. So we got to replace those too. It was just a lot of little things, but we're pretty much most of the way done. So I'm super happy about that. Even though I've had a great time doing it, in the process, our AC broke in here. So sweat my ass off and do all of this for like a solid week and a half. We've had like 5 different AC people come here and try to figure out what the issue is, to no avail. So I think it's a building thing altogether. So that was fun. I've never sweated through a pair of jeans in my life up until 3 days ago. So that was a new accolade I never thought I'd need to accomplish. Basically, what my vision for the office was and still is what the office is becoming. How I imagine it in my mind is how it is actually turning out. So I'm super stoked about that. Most importantly, Will's really happy with the outcome. So it's kind of like, even if he wasn't my fiance, it's like having a client and them being super stoked about everything that you're doing. And I love constructive criticism, especially when it comes to design. So if somebody doesn't like something or if they have a special request, I'm gonna make sure that it gets done the right way the first time so that I don't have to call my guys back out to come and change things. Because ultimately it's their space, you know? So I want them to be happy with it. And it seems that that is being accomplished. So I'm super happy about that. There's been a couple fails and surprises along the road. Little things like I had a green wall put up in the reception area, and I wrapped the pole with greenery as well. So it gives, some life to the space instead of just being super modern, all white, all gray kind of vibe. And I had the team install it. When they installed it, they covered up the light switches and the electrical plugs. So you would think that it would be like, oh, let's cut this out so that they can reach the plugs and the light switches, but no. So I had to do a little renovating of my own. There's just little things that happen, or like closing up a ceiling. We took all those not attractive, I don't want to use the word ugly, non-attractive squares that are in like the ceilings of office buildings that are just not cute. We ripped all of those out in the conference room that I redesigned, and we closed off that wall with drywall. Much better. The lights look fantastic. It was definitely the move. However, when they put it up and then they painted it to match, they covered up the furniture in the room and like put it all in the center. I can show you guys pictures because I have like tons of before and afters. But they didn't cover the floor. So usually in a situation like this, they would cover the floor with, what is the word that I'm looking for? I don't know. It's like brown paper, basically, and they tape it to the floor so nothing gets on it. Well, that didn't happen in any of the offices. So we have these nice little random specks of gray paint all over the floor. It's not super bad. It can definitely be fixed. I can lift it. There's product that can get it off, but it's just, there's the little things that you would like to avoid that just you sometimes can't. And you just gotta go with the 7-minute plan. You just gotta roll with the punches and figure it out later. Outside of that, I think it's been a really fun project. It's taken me way longer to get into this studio, into this seat right now, talking to you guys than I ever thought that it would. So, but a month isn't bad, especially for a reno. But for the most part, I'm really digging the vibe. I like the location. Everybody seems to be really happy in the new space. The energy's good. The vibes are vibing. The people are peopling. The office is officing. I don't know how many more ings I can give you on this, but it's going good. So super happy to be here. Rebuilding the new studio was a whole nother bag of tricks that I was not expecting, but it was fun because I got to do some I got to do some sick upgrades. The space is different. It's a better layout. Some things that weren't working in the old studio was like wide angle lenses. I did not like the way that they were coming out. Even when I watched videos that were recorded months ago that have recently gone live that you guys have watched on YouTube or seen in social media clips, they're not crispy. They don't look good. They look stretched. I don't like wide angles. I've decided that after what I've experienced in the old studio. So in this new studio, you won't be seeing wide angle shots like that anymore. So hopefully the content for you guys will be a lot better visually. I also upgraded my audio. So hopefully we sound more crispy on audio, or sexy, or soothing, or whatever you're feeling that day. Obviously, you've seen that the background is different. I put up curtains. It's been great for absorbing sound, and I think it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. I don't know if Will has approved of this or not. I told him I would change it if he didn't like it. In the old studio, I had soundboards, like the sound panels that absorb sound really well. I just didn't want to do that on another wall. And I would have to do it on 2 walls here, and call me lazy, fine. But I just don't think that they come out as well as they could. And no wall's perfect. So getting everything to be actually symmetrical based on the footage and the measurements of a wall is super rare. And my OCD just kicks in and I can't handle it. So got to do some new upgrades, really liking the new space. There's some cozy touches. The layout's a bit different. Well, you guys will see when I actually have a guest on the show so that you can actually see how it's different. The setup for me solo is a little different, but for the most part, things will have changed since watching in the old studio. There's still recordings that are coming out, so bear with me that are from the past studio. I'm sorry in advance, but thank you for being here through the transition of the new studio. I really appreciate you guys. I think in this space, I have the freedom and the opportunity to be more creative and more comfortable just because it was ours from scratch. Not that the other office wasn't, but it was a shared space with other businesses as well. Here, I can be louder than I used to be because I'm right at the front of the office suite and I'm in the corner. And I also upgraded and got myself a sound machine. So as many F-bombs and as much cursing and swearing and screaming and feralness that I give you guys, I don't have to worry about the person in the next room hearing me because one, these walls are sealed, which at the old office they weren't. And Will's office is on the other side of the suite. So super far away. I don't know. It's just a much more comfortable, cozy feel for a studio. The desk that I bought is too big for the space, but whatever, we'll deal with that. I apologize to the behind the scenes editors on this in advance, but it creates more space for them. It creates a little less space for us over here, but that's all right. Top secret information. There has been thoughts and conversation, if you will, that all resides in my head about actually building out a studio just for my solos. So this may become my guest studio and I'll have a separate studio at home so that I can jump on with you guys all the frickin' time. But for the time being, that's top secret information. So, but I'm telling you because I love you so much. All in all, super creative. It's a better headquarters for everybody involved, and the studio is looking more like a studio that, all right, I'm going to apologize. I hope that got clipped a lot more than I spoke because I did not mean for any of those updates to take as long as they did. But if you are getting them all, then I love you even more for sticking around through the journey. Let's jump in to the Ask Me Anything. So a couple weeks ago, I had sent you guys the Ask Me Anything and you responded on Instagram. So I'm going to jump in super unprofesh, straight from my phone, like I usually do, and answer some questions that you guys have asked me. I won't shout anybody out. I'll keep it anonymous unless you're like then I might throw your name out. I've thrown out a lot of names this episode. I'm gonna have to bleep people. Nah, I don't say last names. It's fine. All right, question 1. How did you and Will meet? Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. Will and I met in a bar. We met in a bar in 2019. And he was actually talking to another girl. I had no idea that he was there. I was not paying attention to anybody but my friend that I was at the bar with at the time. And he was with one of his best friends. And the story goes, I'd rather have him actually sitting here telling you than me because he knows the story better than I actually. He has the memory of an elephant, I swear. He saw me walk in and we sat down in the corner and we had gone there. I didn't want to go out. We had just left dinner. I think it was at Louis Bossi, yeah. We had just left dinner and my girlfriend wanted to go to Balcony in Fort Lauderdale to go see our friend Kevin, who bartended there. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. So we go, we're hanging, it's just me and her, girls being girls, And he's at the bar, on the other side of the bar, talking to another blonde that he had just met that night. And allegedly he saw me walk in and had to end the conversation with the girl so that he could come over and talk my ear off, basically. Just kidding. So the story goes, and I actually have video footage of this evening, so I should post this whatever. It's like Snapchat when you have the dog ears and the tongue, or you remember all the old shit that we used to do on Snapchat when we were 12 years old. Just kidding. So he's there with one of his best friends at the time, and he's trying to get my attention. So imagine a corner bar. There's a pole right here. Me and her are sitting here. Me, her, him, his best friend in the corner. So there's kind of like this pole protecting me, and you can tell that he's like tries to like say hello and pique a conversation, and I just turn back to my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, don't think much about it. And then he's persistent. So then he tries to have a conversation again. He's like, can I buy you guys a drink? And we're like, yeah, sure. What are we drinking? And he goes, double shot of bourbon. And we look at each other and we're like, all right, here we go. Double shot of bourbon. Long story short, he starts like telling me all this stuff about his family, and he's like, this is so weird. I never talk about my family. I never show pictures, like the whatever. And then he was like, can I get your number? And for like a split moment, I was like, for sure, I'm giving this guy a fake number. I'm not giving him my phone number. And I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. But I was glad that I didn't, because he called the number immediately after me giving it to him, and my phone lit up on the bar. And he was like, I just want to make sure that you gave me the right number. And I was like, next level psychopath, right? No, just kidding. I mean, he is. He's Cuban. But that's another story for another time. So then the night is ending. We're getting ready to leave. They're getting ready to leave. Also, he didn't want to go out. His friend was like, no, let's just go get one more drink. And he was like, okay, fine, screw it. We'll go get one more drink. So neither one of us really wanted to go out, and we ended up at this bar. He then tells me, you're going to lunch with me tomorrow across the street at Louis Bassi. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I don't think I had any plans on doing this, but I was like, yeah. No. He goes, no, if you say that you're going to go to lunch with me tomorrow, you have to show up. Like, if you say you're going to be there, be there. I'm literally verbatim telling you this in the tone that he told me. Like, in my mind, I'm like, who the fuck does this guy think he is talking to me like that? But also that like female inside of you is like, but I kind of like it. So, okay. And I did. I actually went to lunch with him the next day. I didn't think that I was going to. And I actually texted him early the next day and said, hey, do you want to go to lunch at 11 instead of 12? And he was like, yeah, 11 works. Behind the scenes, which I didn't know then, he was actually in Boca at his mom's house, like having breakfast with her or going to see her or something before he was supposed to meet me for lunch. So he is on his way to Boca, flips a U-turn, turns back around to meet me at Louis Bassi. Long story short, we sat at Louis Bassi for 6 hours. They literally changed their menus because we were there for so many hours, just talking and shooting the shit. And then our first date quickly turned into our second date, where he asked me to go to a movie. And so we drove all the way to IPIC in Boca, and we were going to go see Endgame, which was I think a 3-hour film. And he didn't like the seats because he thought that he had like the good seats where you have a server and they bring you stuff and all the things. Anyway, he didn't like the seats, and I was like, listen, this is a 3-hour film. If you don't like the seats that we're sitting in, we should probably just leave. We can go see the movie another time. And he was like flabbergasted that I was cool with leaving, and I didn't care. Which still to this day, I'm like, why would I care? Why would you want to sit in a movie? I think I literally said that to him too. I was like, why do you want to sit in a movie for 3 hours where you're going to be uncomfortable and unhappy? Like, spare me. No. So yeah, that's how we met. That's how our first date went. And we never hooked up. I think we spoke for like 6 weeks, and I was definitely emotionally unavailable. And he told me, I don't think we want the same things. So like, this, sent me this message, and I said, agreed. And he blocked my number for 3 years. No, not that that actually is true. But yeah, I was like, Heisman, not interested. I was on and off with another person at the time that totally had my head contorted in a million different unhealthy ways. So I just couldn't do it, wouldn't do it, wasn't interested, never thought I'd see the guy ever again. I was just like, so there's a lot more to the story, obviously, all these years later. But so that's the long and the short of it. But great question. Yes, Will and I met in a bar the old-fashioned way a million years ago, many, many years before we ever actually started dating each other. Next question. How did Will like the small town Montana lifestyle? And how did his family like it too? Great question. Will loves the small town vibe. I mean, I don't think it's a small town vibe that he likes so much because there's really not shit to do. It's all the shit that there is to do in Montana. So the shooting guns, just being a man, being out there in the wilderness, totally disconnected, just being able to do whatever you want, be around the animals, be, fishing, shooting, four-wheeling, all that stuff is definitely his vibe. His family actually grew up they had a farm in Cuba before the Castro regime took over. So they were right at home being on the ranch, which I was super happy about. I was very excited for his grandmother, especially, to come to Montana. She's 84, so her being there was a huge deal. Traveling is obviously not easier as you get older, so the fact that she was able to make it was super exciting for me personally because I knew it would take her back to her roots in a sense, and it did. Like, she loved seeing the cows, she loved seeing the mountains, she loved seeing the horses and just walking around and just being completely out there. And I'm sure that there were parts and moments of it that reminded her of her farm that she used to have in Cuba. So I think that the family enjoyed it a lot. I know his mom enjoyed it too. It's a little roughneck, obviously, and compared to living in Boca in South Florida, where everything is just at the tip of your fingers all the time and convenient, as where you got to plan more shit when you get out there. So as far as a small town goes, I remember when I brought Will home for the first time, and he drove through when I was driving, he was sitting in the passenger seat, and he couldn't believe that this is where I'm from. He was like everything that he's had to deal with me, just being the feral bitch that I am all these years, I think he was like, I don't know how you made it out. Not that there was like something to get out of. I love where I'm from, but for me to be where I am, who I am, and where I'm from, I think he was a little shocked, because it's really, for any of my friends that are from my hometown, they know how small Townsend is. It's itty bitty. It's like 2,100 people. It's, everybody knows everything about everyone. My entire family lives there. They all went to the same high school as me. My grandparents went to the same high school as me. There's 5 bars. They're all on the same side of the street. There's a school. There's a grocery store. There's a post office. And there's not even a red light in my hometown. There's a flashing red light and stop signs, but like you blink and you miss it. It's like a highway town. So I think he was shell shocked when I actually brought him to my hometown and like showed him where I went to school and all the things. So, but it was cool. It was a fun experience for me because I love it. I love going home. I'm probably happiest when I'm home. I'm either happiest when I'm home or I'm happiest when I'm sitting right here in this seat with you guys. That's the God honest truth, I think. Those are my 2 happiest places. So yeah, it's cool that they got to see where I'm from, because it's very, very different than the lifestyle that we live today. Question number 3, how did you get to where you are now? Career/life path. P.S. Congrats on the engagement. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the engagement was sick. Thank you so much. How did you get to where you are now? Honestly, I have no fucking idea how I got here. Sometimes I look around and I'm like, pinch me. This is my life. Sometimes on like a raw note, I feel like I'm living someone else's life. Like sometimes I get really lost in the sauce and I'm like, what's happening around me? And then I come back to the show. I'm like, this is definitely where I'm meant to be. Super happy to be here. Sorry, I'm reframing this like a million. I don't know why this is hard for me to answer. Really, really good question, though. I would say just on a whim. How I got to where I am is just going with the flow. I know that I'm definitely one of those people that changes their mind all the time. And I have been heavily judged on that throughout my life. But I realize that that is something about me that will likely never change. And it's probably something that will never change because I don't want it to. I'm a very curious mind. I'm a very creative mind. I'm heavily intuitive, which has helped me on my life path. And I'm an empath. So being able to read a room and read a person and read a situation or a standpoint that I've been has helped me get to where I am. I don't care that I change my mind a million fucking times. I'm not probably ever going to be a master at one thing. I'm a jack of all trades kind of person. So that's kind of guided me to all the places that I've been. For a background, I'll just spit some jobs that I've had. I bartended probably more than half of my life. No, not really. But like my adult life, yeah, over half of my adult life, I was in the service industry. So communicating with people, being behind the bar and not on the other side of it. You learn a lot about people. It's a very fast-paced environment. You're go all the time. I worked with animal rescue. I worked as a nail tech. I worked in makeup sales. I worked in the nightlife. I was a promoter. I even got into, this is so embarrassing, and I have to show you guys pictures of this too. I told my girlfriend this probably 2 months ago, that I did go-go dancing, with another girl that I had met when I moved to South Florida when I was 20 years old. Like, what? That's insane to even think about. But I mean, we made good money. What else? I worked on mega yachts. So working below deck as a yacht stew. I've worked as an airline flight attendant. I've worked as a private flight attendant. I've worked in real estate. I've done so many things, and I think I just go with the flow and I don't know where life's going to take me. But the second that I get bored of something or I'm not interested in it, or I just am like, I take whatever it was from that position or from that job or from that time and place in my life, the people that were with me, the people that were around me, everything that I've learned, and I've taken what I can to move into the next thing. And I think that's one of probably the most successful things that I've learned how to do is filter what I need and filter what is useful and what I can learn and gain and grow from, and throw the rest away. And not throw it away in a negative way. It sounds negative when you put it that way, but I think filtering the experiences that I've been through and adding the qualities and the lessons on my back as I go has what's got me as far as I've gotten. And I didn't come this far just to get this far. I'm still going. So even as I'm talking to you right now, I'm learning something by sitting in this seat. I'm actually learning from the question that I'm answering because I've never answered this question before. So I'm learning a lot about myself in every moment, in every aspect of life. And I have to remember that. So I think what's gotten me through or far is having the ability to do that and actually being conscious that that is what I'm doing. I think that people look at things that they've done in their life and, oh, that didn't work out, that didn't work out, that didn't work out. It didn't work out because it wasn't supposed to. You literally can't fuck this life up. You can't. Even if you tried, even if you wanted to, there's a plan. There's a path for you. You might take a left and a right and swirl and go backwards and repeat and whatever, but it's all a part of the plan. So you can't mess anything up. Nothing was really a waste of your time. So if you can just consciously remember that and take all the lessons as growth and as knowledge and as wisdom, and then apply them into the next stage of your life, whether it be career, whether it be relationship, whether it be experience, whatever that looks like for you, then it will just help you go further. Because that's what I've done. And I get so many compliments in the DMs and on social media mostly, of comments like that where people look at me and say oh, how did you become so successful? Or how long did it take you? Or, what background behind the scenes of my show or starting the show and all these things. And just little me sitting right here, I don't look at these things as massive or great or huge or anything because I'm in it. You know what I mean? But when I'm looking back on it, it'll probably look very different. And from looking at it from a different lens, it inspires people. And I mean, that's kind of the point. That's a big purpose of why I'm here, is to inspire and motivate you guys to do whatever the fuck you want. Because that's what I do. So I don't really know anything else. But I hope that answers your question. If I could give you any advice on the question, on the question that you asked, you're probably already doing the same thing. You just don't know it. So if you can tap into your subconscious and tell yourself that you're actually growing and going further than you think, and your life path knows exactly where it's taking you, it might help you make those choices for yourself consciously. And in short, just to add this in, how did I get to where I am now career-wise is, like, I think I say this on my show all the time, stop thinking about what other people think, what other people's vision of you is, or where you fit into their life, or what they might think or what they might say. When I actually stopped giving a fuck about what other people say or what they think about me or what they do or how they live or whatever impacts my life, I actually just removed that. And by removing all of that noise that I actually don't know any of, if so facto, I don't know any of it for fact. It's just shit that sits in my mind because I allow it to. Once I removed that, I was really able to hone in on my craft and realize who I am and what I'm good at and what my strengths are. My strengths are creating, my strengths are events, my strengths are directing, producing, being outside of the box. Inconsistency is actually something great about me because it's just a constant challenge that I have to work with by being a creative person and being a creative soul. So I think that in all the experiences that I've been in my life that I've shamed myself for, and just like, because I used to tell myself, oh, it didn't work out, it didn't work out, it didn't work out. It didn't work out because it wasn't supposed to. So I think I already told you that, but it's because of all those things that got me to where I am now. So now I get to be where I want to be. Let me say that again. I get to be where I want to be. And being here with you guys on the show, in this seat, in this room, I created this, I produced this, I direct this, I host this. I get to do all the things that I want to do because I started saying yes to the things that I want, and I stopped saying yes to the things that I didn't want in my life because I was trying to please everybody else. So I stopped people pleasing and I started pleasing me first. So yeah, that was probably the biggest takeaway in how I've gotten to be where I am today. This, career-wise specifically, creating my own career. I'm not building somebody else's dream anymore. I'm building mine. So I highly encourage you to do the same thing. Is it scary as shit? Yes. But I also built the life that I needed and able to be able to do this. I manifested it. I didn't even realize I was doing that until I was sitting right here and I was like, all the things that I never thought would be possible, are my reality. They're my normal now. It's weird, but you got to have those conversations with yourself. Next question. What are the top 3 things you love about Montana that South Florida doesn't have? The number one thing that I love about Montana that South Florida doesn't have is no cell reception. Easy frickin' peasy. I love being disconnected. I love telling the world to fuck off so that I can actually listen to my brain think and be around myself and not connected to Wi-Fi or electricity or just like all the things. So those are easy places to find in the state of Montana. I don't know anywhere in the state of Florida that I could get to quickly that have no cell phone reception. So number one thing, I would say. Next thing. My family. My entire family lives in the state of Montana. So that's something that Montana has that South Florida doesn't. Actually, that's not true. My brother lives in South Florida. He lives about an hour and a half north of me. Outside of him, though. My mom's here part of the year. So outside of that, everybody else is up there. For the most part. I have some family floating in other areas, but my immediate family pretty much all still live in my hometown. So number 2, South Florida doesn't have my fam. Number 3, favorite thing that Montana has that South Florida doesn't, the coffee cup in Townsend, Montana, baby. When I go home, I go to the coffee cup every single morning and I get myself a big train. What is a big train, you ask? A big train is basically a way fucking better version of a frappuccino. That's what it is. So, and it's the only place in the world that I know where to get them. And it happens to be in my hometown. And I think the coffee cup is open from 7 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday. So I have like 5 days a week to get in and get out. And I do. Actually, I think they're open on Mondays now. I think it's the Mountie Moose that's not open on Monday, which is weird. Like, why wouldn't you want a donut on a Monday? It's like the worst day of the week. It's like the day you need coffee and a donut. Anyway, I'll pick that bone with the Mountie Moose on another day. So yeah, I think those are the top 3 things. Big trains, family, and no cell phone reception. Fabulous question. Thank you for asking. Let's see. We got a couple left. They're not really questions, but when are we getting together? Okay, so this one I'm going to shout out. Ed, when the fuck are we getting together? We really need to hang out. I miss you. I love you. It's a question. Actually, technically it is a question, but so text me, I guess, so that we can actually hang out and I can see you and your fabulous wife and shoot the shit and see the kids and do the damn thing. That would be fab. Soup fab. Okay. And last but certainly not least, not a question, but I'm obsessed with you and I love watching you succeed and do life. See, it's things like that one, I'm going to put you on the show, first of all. Thank you for the compliment. I fucking love you too. This girl is actually my cousin, and my cousin's basically like a sister to me. We're homies. They're best friends. And so it's cool to see that you guys actually watch the show. You follow me on social, you comment, you like, subscribe, you do all the things. So if there's anybody that you guys are watching that's not me, or it's just somebody that you're a super big fan of, let them know. Like, actually tell them, hey, like a message like that hits hard in the best sort of way. Like, there's no better compliment to have somebody tell you that they're obsessed with you and they love watching you do life. Like, come on. So thank you. Shout out to you, girlfriend. I don't care that it wasn't a question. It still made it on this show. And it means a lot to me. So thank you for saying that. I love you so much. I love doing life with you guys. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, I would have nothing to fucking talk about. So thank you for your questions, for your comments, for your words of affirmation, all the things. You guys did really well. I love all the questions. Thank you for letting me catch up with you. I'm sorry that I have been MIA for the last few weeks, so as far as solos go. So I'm glad to be back. Now you know where I was. I don't know what else to say here, but I did not think that this episode was going to take an hour. So again, I apologize in advance, even though we're not supposed to apologize on the show. Apologizing anyway. I love you. Like the show, follow, subscribe, message me on social media. I'll do another Ask Me Anything. I'll probably do these like once a week just for shits and giggles. I don't know. We'll see. Hit me up if you guys want to tell me a story. If you guys want to have a little confession sesh, you guys can email me at feral@savannahmontana.com. In the meantime, check me out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places. You know where to follow the show, at Feral with Sav. Am I leaving anything out? I don't think so. My heart just like can't get over the last comment that wasn't a question. I'm just over the moon about it. So thank you guys. Thank you for following along. Thank you for communicating and playing with me on social media. I love doing Ask Me Anythings. I will continue to do them. Thank you for the ketchup. Not ketchup on your hamburger, but ketchup in life. I don't think that there's anything left. I think I'm just rambling on at this point. So until next time, I will see you guys next Tuesday. I hope you're enjoying the guest episodes. I'm not sure who the next guest is, or I would be shouting them out right now. There's some new changes and new fun things that are going to be happening with Feral. So stay tuned and stay connected. I will hang out with you guys very, very soon, and I will see you next Tuesday. Have a Feral fucking day. Mwah. Okay, love you. Bye. Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute? Wow.